But you see, if you want a better relationship, you don't do what everybody is doing. Because once you do what everybody is doing, you will not get the results you want. Because what I would do in my home, I would do in my home what you do from what you. That is why I sometimes want large churches doing premarital counseling and stuff. Because they don't necessarily allow couple to come up with what they really want to do. Because I have my strengths. She also has a strength. We were brought up from two different environments. So whatever thing that needs to be done, we need to address it. And most times we need to write it down. Work towards it. If you don't plan, you'll fail. And most relationships, they just live like every other person. Wake up in the morning, go to work in the morning, she also goes to work and come. They don't even know what you're going to do. From work back home, they don't even know what they're going to do. But you need to have a plan, follow the plan so you can succeed.
So it's still push to the wall that it looks like. So for those who don't have this conversation,
they need to have it.
And they thrive on the assumption. Naturally, certain lines are drawn on what's expected of the man and the woman. It looks like some people prefer bills and financial, running of the relationship by the man, and then maybe home care by the woman. And then when work comes in, this becomes a problem.
That is why I'm saying that couples need to sit and agree. What I'm capable of, what you are capable of, share the responsibilities based on your strengths. And where you don't have those strengths, use other people's resources to do it. When you can't help, you need help. You need someone to do it. But you need to find that space to do that. Some of the things that most people do is bring work to the house.
Just coming to work. Since you started it.
You see, what you're supposed to do, they bring it home. But you should have time for your work. Time for your private.
Is that realistic? I mean, for somebody that, and which also bring up the conversation on understanding ourselves. I mean, when I work in an environment where it demands that I can't end the fight, I'd have to come up and continue what I do. That's my partner. Is it okay for me to bring my work home to continue?
You need to talk. Communicate with her. So that at least when you get home, a little portion of the time is used for whatever you're talking about. And then I recommend that if you are a very busy person, a public person and stuff, get two numbers. One for the public, one for the family. When you leave the public line off, so you can have time with family. It's very, very important. So you can see most people have two phones, three phones, and then once they are out of work, they just turn the public phone off because they would want to have time. Because you can do all these things, and if you don't plan and manage well, you end up destroying your home, destroying your children. And I can tell you for a fact that if you succeed in your field, your work, and you fail at home, you fail.
What are the effects, or what are some of the gradual signs of destroying your relationship when you carry work home and then or vice versa? What are some of the things and the signs that you see from both parties?
One of the things you would see is communication breaks down. You are unable to talk. And then also the woman or the man starts pulling away because now I want to have a chat. You are busy with your work. I don't want to disturb you. So it creates a distance. And that distance would affect your emotions, to affect your sex life, to affect the children. And eventually people build defenses. So yes, you start becoming overly defensive because of what you are doing. I'm working. So even the slightest conversation or the slightest thing that you don't have to overly react on, instead of responding, you react. And then it brings tension. And once you become overly critical. You become very, very critical about what the husband is doing and what the wife is doing. You are creating emotions that destroy relationships. Now, what happens is, one, you become defensive because you want to defend what you're doing. You become very, very critical, or the other party becomes very critical. And then one also would develop this stonewalling, whatever you want to do is okay, you want to do stuff. And then contempt starts coming in because I'm the one bringing the money and you are the one that is receiving, and I'm trying to bring the money and then you are complaining. And then contempt starts reading. Once you get these four emotions, it's going to die. I can assure you, it's going to die.
Which gender is more likely to be I want to choose my words carefully, but it's likely to start developing these things early. Is it, do men find it difficult to understand career can be a problem in the relationship for their partners, or do women understand it better? I want to try and get it.
You see, it also depends on the background of these people. There are some women who are brought up, there are some men who are brought up. So instead of some women become very, very logical, some men become very, very emotional. So it depends on the background. We can't just say that men will do this and women will do that. But the most important
maybe men become a bit too, they don't sometimes understand that if a woman
we don't attach too much emotions to these things. Women will attach a lot of emotions to it, but we don't attach too much emotions to it. We want to look at the logical side, because of the part of the brain that we use. So men will usually be very logical. Women will be very emotional. And when we don't understand the basic needs of a woman and the basic needs of a man, we get these sort of conflicts. And then we should understand every relationship goes through stages. And when we were dating, we were not married. The honeymoon phase. Most times, one is still in the honeymoon phase, and the other person has shifted into the differentiation phase.
Okay, and who would be in this honeymoon?
And you see, it depends on who is more into the relationship. There are times when a woman moves into a differentiation phase for the second phase, and a man is still in the honeymoon phase, and the man starts complaining, the woman is going to be her and giving him attention. And most times, the man has moved to the next level, but the woman is still in the honeymoon phase, and expecting that the man will be doing the same things we were doing when they were dating or when they got married fresh. And these things also go a long way to affect the way people feel, the way people deal with each other, and then the way they talk. The most important thing is communication.
Communication works, but I mean, if I still break it down into some of the realistic things that happen in the home, don't you feel that sometimes men have might not necessarily understand some of these emotional imbalances that a woman can go through, and can be more demanding in terms of decisions that a woman might take with career that might come back home and come back to affect the home? I mean, considering that woman has children, I mean, the couple have kids. Woman is coming home, she might come home late, she still have, maybe she works in a banking institution, she brings certain things home, she has to take care of the family, and a man might feel that, hey, if you say you have two phones, turn this off and understand that you are home. Is it really possible?
You see, that is where talking comes in, communication comes in still. Because we should learn how to communicate effectively and persuasively. You can't force it. So whatever that you are doing, get your other partner who is not in agreement with you involved. For instance, as a counselor, I get many calls from females, sometimes late at night. But when those calls come, I make sure that the woman in the house gets to know that this is one of those calls. And sometimes you let the other person know that, oh, I'm with my wife, call me in the morning. So you need that sort of communication. You need to talk. You need to, the bottom line is effective and persuasive communication, where you break down, you open up, you become transparent. For instance, if I bring work home and I know the woman can help you in this area, right? While you're chatting, oh, can you please do this for me? It is something I can. Can you please write up this part for me? Or I do the write up, I want to read through, I give it to her, read through for me. So you get her involved so she gets to know that she's a part of whatever that you're doing. And then the other confusion that most people have is they bring their role and position in their offices into their home.
And that's a question I want to put to our viewers now. Do you bring that role you play? I mean, I think it's a very good thing, point you phrase. Do you bring that role you play in your office to your home? So if you're a man, you're an MD, do you come and play MD at home?
Yes.
Or if you're a woman and you're an MD, do you come and play MD at home?
That is it.
Yeah.
Because once you come and do that, then you are treating the man or the woman like a subordinate. Because there are certain people in very high position and in their line of duty. They command people, they order people and all that. Like you work in a big firm, you have lots of people under you, and you want to treat your husband like one of them? No. Definitely there's going to be this conflict. So you need to
that's
leave.
what I was asking.
You need to leave that role that you play in the office. In the office. When you come home, you are a wife.
That's what I was asking about what is the real responsibility of a woman? Because I mean, she might be the MD of a very huge institution, you know, earning millions or thousands of dollars at the end of the month, and then she comes home.
When you come home, you're a wife. You are not the MD.
So what is the role play of a wife?
You see, that is where usually I don't like defining. Because the role I'll give to some woman will not go well with another woman.
Another woman, yes.
So I will say it again, that husband and wife, even before you get married, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and it is for that reason the two of you are together. Complement each other. What I can do, I will do. What she can do, she will do. I know how to dice chicken very well without breaking bones. So when there's a live chicken, I'm the one who cuts it. You get that? When there's something that she knows I can do well, she'll call me. Come and do it.
A couple is 5 years into their relationship and they have a child, and work demands that the woman be away from need to travel probably to another region or another country to continue work. A big opportunity comes her way. Now, what kind of advice do you give to such a couple? And this is a real life situation, such a couple, because does the man understand, or will the man understand that this is a career opportunity for my wife and we have to be away and there's a newborn baby, you know, between us? Or let's look at our family and consider that the family is young, our child is a newborn baby, we can't take the risk of living separate lives and separating our child now. What do you advise to such a couple? Now,
first thing is a woman going to do something to help both of you, or she's just going to do something for herself? She's going in there to get that job or to do that whatever she's doing for the child and for you, the man. So when she is absent, what can you do to fill her place? Or whatever role or duty she's supposed to do, what can you do to replace it? So both of you need to sit and talk, need to sit and agree. If you're going to bring probably a mother or a house help or somebody to hold the child so you can also get to work, let's discuss it, talk about it. Don't stop the woman from achieving her dreams. Don't stop the man from achieving her dreams. Doesn't it come with a little bit of selfishness? Wouldn't that position... Immediately, everybody has a dream. Everybody wants to live a certain life. And when I am pursuing mine, the fact that I am married to you, you mean because I am married to you, I shouldn't pursue my dreams? No, we're two individuals before we get married. We got married, and I have my dreams. You have yours. And we find a way to sync or synchronize our vision so we can be able to get to where we intend going. So what happens is when I get such an opportunity, all we need to do is how can we arrange in a manner that we can see each other quite often, or once in a while we can see each other, and then with the child, what can we do while you're away to be able to help considering that the child is, I mean, it's a fresh baby, probably just about a year old, would that be
inconsiderate for the woman to?
I know
if I'm
families,
just asking,
I know families
Yeah.
that take their kids to school even 6 months because the man is working, the woman is working. You get that? So it is all understanding. I know a very busy couple. The man is the managing director of a company, the woman works in the bank, and they don't have a house help. So what they decide to do...
how do they do it?
So what they decide to do is, in the morning, when the woman is getting to work, she takes the child to school. In the afternoon, the man goes to pick the child to his office. And then when he closes, brings the child home. They all come back home. And when it comes to cooking and all those things, they do their food and everything, keep them there in the fridge, and then use. When it's over, they all go to the market. Listen, you can always plan. The bottom line is planning. What is killing most relationships is people don't talk, people don't plan. And if I have all my ideas in my head and you have yours in your head, I would not know. I can read what you're thinking about. So the bottom line here is we need to communicate. And when we are communicating, like I keep saying, you need to take notes so you can be able to follow.
At what point in time would you say it's a bit of unfairness from one demanding too much over the other? Because, like, I still come back to say
unfairness.
Yes, that
you see, it becomes unfair when one decides not to understand, not to compromise. Because listen, we need to give and take. There are some people that are just always what they want to receive. They want things to go always the way they want. But you see, you can't have it that way anywhere in this world. So you need to give a little, you need to take a little.
So here's a lady who works Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
She closes at 7, let's say around 5 p.m. or 6 p.m.
And get home by 7.
She has school till about 9 p.m. Now, between that time, a certain responsibility gap is missing.
Yeah.
And then there's also the demands from the husband in terms of intimacy, sex, and home care and all that. Would it be fair for the man to step in and say, look, I think that your timetable is having a toll on the relationship?
You see, my brother, the interesting thing is the school that she is attending.
Every man wants the wife
I know.
to come home and then there's school. You know, that's what I was asking about responsibility.
You see, the thing
Take
is...
my socks off.
You see,
food should be ready. Man, where are you? You can ask.
You see, the thing is, you see, is the school that she is attending going to benefit both of you eventually?
Who's the real beneficiary of the school she's attending?
You see, she is going for a higher document to get a better pay. That better pay will not be spent by her alone, but both of you, and even including the child that you have.
At the detriment of the...
You see, for how long is she going to school?
Maybe we can say about maybe a year or 2.
So can't you just sacrifice for the year or 2 for her to finish the school and then life gets back to normal? So we don't have to become that selfish in here.
Great.
So what about if it is you, the man?
So I was going to say...
What about you, the man, going to school?
That, a woman also understand fairly if the man is playing such a role where he is not available, you know, as much as...
My issue here is... when you were starting that thing that you're going to do that's going to take your time, discuss with the person that would directly be affected. That because of ABC, I need to do this. I need to take this decision. Do you agree? And when the agreement is made, then you follow. But if the person says, no, you can't go to school because I'll need you to take this, the next thing is, how then are we going to be able to improve our lives? Because some people get married before they get to school. Some people have children before they get to school. And there are times when the job that you do are so demanding. Like being a journalist, you have one time you'll be running around here, one time you'll be over there. And then your husband or your wife just wants you to be around him. You get that? But you see, you still should make time for each other. No matter how small, you should have quality time. Quality time together.
Isn't the relationship exposed to risks when such things come in, you know.
Where risks, which risk are you talking about?
So let's even talk about the fact that, you know, you might have other people creeping in to take the attention of the partner just because of this is happening. And there have been scenarios where, you know, she's in school, she closes late, she comes from around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. One, she's missing out on the child's development and the child's growth as a mother or as a father.
The school thing is just about a year or two, so that shouldn't be.
But it takes one night for the storm to.
But the thing is, see, prioritize.
Okay.
You need to set your priorities right, both husband and wife.
Yes.
Now, if I am going to do a 2-year school that is going to improve my income, or you are going to do a 2-year school that will improve your income, and that income then comes into our own kitchen where we are all going to use. Why should I deprive you of that? Now, if the work you're doing some extra hour or two so that both of you are going to get some income out of it, why not compromise? So all you need to do is communicate.
Communication seems to be the word of the morning, if I can say, but how many of you easily dialogue in your relationships? Now, we're going to take this.
You see,
yes.
there's one thing that most people do not get.
Yeah.
In every relationship, trust, communication, and sex. Don't mix the three. Trust comes first. Communication, and then sex.
I want a better analysis of this. Yeah. Trust, communication, and sex.
Don't mix the three.
Okay.
Don't interchange the three.
Okay.
If you don't have trust, you will not communicate well. If you don't communicate well, you can't have sex.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
So if you don't trust the person that I am going out there to do something for all of us, you can't even communicate well. And if you can't communicate well, your sex life will become boring.
And problem starts rolling.
So trust, communication, sex should be the 3 key things that everybody should focus on in your relationship.
Well, I'll be asking you as well out there. You can share via social media. What 3 key things do you focus on aside from trust, communication, and sex? There are a few scenarios that we'll put before you. Now, these are stories that we picked up over our conversation. And this one is coming from Mrs. Adeline Brown. Now, she says, I've fallen into the trap of giving everything I have to a relationship. I've played the wife. I go to work, do my husband's washing, cleaned up after him, and cooked his dinner. Come to think of it, is this what I'm going to be like for the rest of my life? Why is my husband not helping me in the chores? Should I stop work and become a housewife? Now she's asking.
You see, this...
And that's why I was asking about the role play again, that she's been doing what she's supposed to do all these years, and she feels it's taking a toll on her.
What she feels she's supposed to do. But has she had any conversation with her husband on that?
Must there be even a conversation about responsibility? Is it questionable about
there are certain people
who should provide money in the house?
You see, there are certain people that do not see what you see as responsibility as responsibility. So long as life is going okay with them, they are okay. So you need to sit, husband and wife, you need to sit and plan. Because if you talk and you allocate duties and roles. I will do this. Can you do that? Or you list the things that you do. We do this, we do that, you do that, you do that. Which part can you play? Which part can I play? And then you share responsibilities. You're not going to have any of these problems. But if you take the whole thing on you, it becomes disturbing. Then you're going to complain. You're going to have troubles because then you're carrying the whole thing. You're becoming a husband, you're becoming a wife, you're becoming the caretaker, you're becoming everything. But you see, some of the responsibilities of the stuff that you do at home should be passed to the other partner as well. So you need to communicate this.
But what about if the roles are not something, considering our cultural values and the way we are? I mean, you can't pass on the responsibility of breastfeeding to a man. It's impossible.
A man cannot breastfeed. That's what we know. A man cannot breastfeed. So if you are breastfeeding, that is a woman's work. Now, when it comes to sweeping, when it comes to cleaning of utensils and stuff, anyone can do it. So I am holding this part. You hold this part. That is why the two live together. Marriage is not master-servant relationship. It's a partnership between two equal people.
Does it make sense for a man to even demand financial responsibility from a woman? And this is the question that I'm also even asking all the ladies out there. Are you comfortable if your partner is to ask you for a financial contribution to something? With most people feeling like it's a man's responsibility to actually be providing more when it comes to finances than the woman.
You see?
And what's the effect of if you allow a woman to contribute
my issue is
financially to a marriage?
If the woman is better off financially than you are, what is wrong with that?
What if she's not?
If she is not, share. Put whatever you have on the plate, on the floor. Let everybody get to see it. This is what I make. This is what you make. That is why I will still go back to pre-marriage counseling. Because you should know how you're going to manage your finances before you get into marriage. There are 3 basic levels where you have joint accounts, you have partially joint, you have separate accounts. All come with pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
We have joint accounts, it have its pluses and minuses. We have partially joint, that's pluses and minuses, and then completely separate. So when it's completely separate, I have my account, you have your account. Partially joint, I put a little of my income into a kitty, you put that a little of yours into a kitty. We use that one in running our home. And when it's completely joint, everything, people have so many excuses and examples they can cite with some of these things. But the most useful one that I think most couples should handle when it comes to managing their finances should be the partially joint. Where I put a percentage of my income in there, you put a percentage of your income in there, and then we all use that portion to run our home. The rest I can use for myself. The rest you also use yours for yourself. So you need to set. Marriage is an agreement between 2 mature minds, and those minds are joining themselves together so they can support each other. They can live together. They can build a relationship for the rest of their lives and even leave a legacy for their children and their children's children. So when you are living in a marriage and you don't plan, not just for yourselves, but for your children, to leave them wealth, you are wasting time.
So they will look at careers that can pose direct risks to your relationship. Let's start off with an example as maybe a man who works in an environment where it's flooded with a lot of women. And how much of understanding can a woman allow the man to work? And I keep saying that, I even use sometimes musicians who are married as an example, where they have to play in the role of in their music videos and all this. That's a very common and basic example that I'm even sharing in here. We don't have plenty married musicians who's, but just as an example.
So going back,
yes,
trust, communication, sex. When you trust the person, trust is not something that you just get. You have to make sure the person trusts you. And you see, when you pick it like a vase, trust is like a vase. Once it's broken, you mend, it's still there. Trust is broken. So if you work in an environment where you have a lot of the opposite sex around you, you should behave responsibly and let everyone get to understand that you are not just going to fall for those things. Because if you break trust, the person won't trust you again. And when there's no trust, everything is gone.
If a woman asks, and in the same scenario, if a woman is asking that, listen, because of the nature of your work, I don't think it is something that would be helpful to a family, with a family, regardless of the fact that I trust you. I mean, you can't trust everybody 100%. So I need you to consider your career again. Is this something worth,
the issue here is, can I change it? And if I change it, what am I going to do? So if we can have an alternative, because once you are suggesting it, then you should come up with an alternative. For instance, talking to women and talking to guys and all this stuff. You say you don't feel secured because of the work I do. What can I do? So you have to suggest something, and then if it is viable, two of us will sit, work at it. But you see, you don't do things that will affect the other person deliberately. You see, you don't do things to affect the other person deliberately. You need to understand that this is what the person wants to do. And the reason and the purpose of that person is to change.
There are a few comments coming in on our scenario we just shared, and this one is quite interesting, coming out from Oba One that says, is it because you've made it, so in the beginning you should have let him help you with the chores? Like by now he would be used to it.
Used to it. So from the beginning, you see, from the beginning you set this from the very beginning.
Interesting. Another one from Lydia says, you should have discussed this during courtship. Isn't it late? Talk to him calmly and let him understand why you need help.
That's it.
And that's coming out from Lydia.
Exactly.
Halidu says, I think when you let him understand what you're going through, he would help you, if not all. And that's coming out from Halidu as well. More comments coming in, but let me also, in the interest of time, let me share this next scenario we have here. This one also coming in from Samantha. Right. Samantha says that, and listen carefully, Samantha says, I have a really high demanding job, and I love every second of it. Sometimes I open up my laptop at 10 p.m. Sometimes I'm still talking about work late into the evening. Now the problem is, I'm used to him huffing and puffing about it. Is it a normal part of my life? But when there were periods when his work demanded more from him, I don't even comment on it once I understood. There are things I have to do for my career, which is also essential for getting ahead. I don't need him to question it. All I expect from him is to support me. Or I want someone who is proud of how I work and how hard I work and loves me for it. At the end, I ask myself, am I better off single? And that's coming out from Samantha. Is this Samantha becoming too demanding?
Not that. You see, Samantha is not talking to the husband. He's not talking. You see, when you have a work that you love and is demanding, get your husband involved.
But if
let him get
opening
to know,
her laptop at 10 p.m.
You see, let him
and 10 p.m. is...
let him get to know. You see, the thing here is, make time, prioritize well, make time for every area of your life. That is why I still will recommend that you have a written routine. Everything you're doing in a day, from start, every hour, every minute, write it down so you can follow. So when you are planning like that, you have 6 important areas of your life where you jot down. I'm going to do this at this time. I'm going to do this at that time. I'm going to do that at that time. And then you allocate time for your husband, allocate time for your family and children. So that when you have written it down, you don't run in circles or do anything haphazard. You know that at this time is for my husband. At this time is for my wife. At this time is for my children. Where you can have a day out with the family, a day out with your husband, an out of home stay with your husband or with your children. But you see, if you don't plan it, anything could just come in and throw you off gear. For instance, you may not have planned to turn on your laptop at 10, but sitting and thinking about work, if I do this, I can quickly get something done. But if you have a schedule that you are following and you have written it down, you are forced or you force yourself to go by that schedule. On Monday, this is what I'm doing. On Tuesday, this is what I'm doing. On Wednesday, this is what I'm doing. And then you follow. You live a more organized life than just being blown away by anything that comes. You get that? So when you plan, and then you have a plan and it's synchronized with that of your partner, you won't have any troubles.
She comes in late. We do all the things we have to do. We get intimate, and then she goes back to her desk to work.
Yes.
She has taken care of the man, yet still she's gone back to the work. Now there's a certain conversation about which do you love more, me or your work?
You see, it all depends on who the person you're dealing with. Now, like I keep saying, your husband, your wife should know and understand that even after getting intimate, there's something you need to catch up with. And I keep saying this, can you even get the man or the woman involved so that you all play that role. You all take part in it. That shows that you're supporting each other. And then you are
finding interest
in each other's line of work. So you need to still trust.
A question coming in saying that doesn't mean that African women don't know how to communicate in marriage.
You see, it is not that African women don't know how to communicate. The issue is, it is not what you say. It is how you say it.
Powerful.
It is not what you say, but how you say it. So you see, you need to adapt what I call effective and persuasive communication.
Adaptive and persuasive
Yes,
communication. Are you listening to that?
And
Good morning to you, Roger J. Hi, Joe. I see your tweet coming in. Says that I agree, Papa, on a lot of levels. It is said that two cannot work together unless they agree.
Yeah.
Discussing expectations and so on from the beginning is major. We're also going to open phone lines real quickly, so you can also call in and also join in our conversation right now. The numbers will be displayed on your screen, so you can call us. And please, when you call us, do well to turn down the volume on your television set so that we can hear you loud and clear. The communication bit, that's the challenge.
Yes, you see, once you learn how to communicate well, for people who are Christians and even not Christians, everything you need to learn about communication is in the book of Proverbs. And I recommend that book, even if you're not a Christian or you don't believe in God. Just read the book of Proverbs a number of times. I think I'm on my 40th time reading the book of Proverbs.
What strikes you most in the book of Proverbs?
You see, every area of our life is in there. How to plan, how to communicate, how to live together, how to succeed in life. Every area that everyone needs to succeed in is in the book of Proverbs. And if you read it over and over and over again, you get a better understanding of life than you would ever have in reading other books. So just read it, just a book of Proverbs. You can add Ecclesiastes to it. Read the book of Proverbs. Like I said, I'm on my 40th time.
Is there any particular part of the book of Proverbs that
I pick?
You find?
Is it? I pick from chapter 1 all the way
Let
down.
me hold you. I have a call on the line now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Jay.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. I love your program this morning.
Thank you very much. We are trying to... Anyway, please talk to us. What do you have to share with us? Or a question, if I may ask.
Yeah, it's a question I want to ask.
Yes, please.
Please, what do you do when you have a fiancé who always see what she says as the right thing, at the last bus stop? Whatever thing she says is the last. Whenever you suggest things or you say, let's do it this way, she doesn't want to agree to that. And whatever thing she says is just the last thing. And she likes, being secretive. She don't want to discuss herself with you. She don't want to discuss anything about the relationship. It just, she just isolated herself in a certain way that you don't even know what is happening at all to her. When she speaks, she don't talk. Just,
Are you,
very secretive.
You're not married, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, let me quickly get this reaction. Just hold on there.
You see, this is a sign that you are not going to have a peaceful marriage. It's a sign. Because here, when I make my decisions, you can change it. You can adapt to it for a while, but you can't do it forever. And then there are simple ways to deal with this issue too. So the person comes up with something and then the person thinks it's cast in stone, you can't change it. But if you suggest what you think is right, you're not imposing, but you're suggesting that, but don't you think if we do it this way and that way, it will yield results?
Well, he said that she feels she
and you see, it also comes with a lot of things. One, the woman may think probably she's more educated than you are, or probably higher in status than you are. Normally happens that way when there's that disparity in educational levels, disparity in income and stuff. So you need to still do the communication.
Wish I had enough time to digest your question. It's a very important question you've asked. However, we'll come to it. But Sandra is on the line. Sandra, good morning. Hello, Sandra, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Sandra, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
I'm with a guy I'm having a child with.
Okay.
Who doesn't get time to cook? All he thinks about is work. work. He works at Abosokai and he feels and he feels all the time should be in Abosokai from Thursday to Sunday. All he does is go to work. He doesn't really think about us. And when you raise it, it's all about I have to be in the workplace. If I don't get it, how can I take care of people?
Do you work as well, if I may ask?
Yes, I work myself.
Okay.
And I'm always with my child. You see, so he hardly gets time for us. And when you talk about that, it's about he has to be at the workplace. He has to be there. If I don't be there, how can I take care of the family? He doesn't really get it.
Sandra, thank you very much. Now, she's described the kind of work that the boyfriend or husband is in. But let me pick the last caller because our time is almost up, then we can discuss together. Jamila, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please. Talk to us.
Can I go on?
Yes, please, you can.
Okay. I have married for about 5 months now, and my husband seems not to communicate with me, but he made me understand that he has a daughter. So he's supposed to take care of that daughter. But here is the case that the mother is still in the town with the man, and I just want the child to come and stay with us. But the man is still insisting that the child is small and he has to let the child grow up before he will allow me to stay with the child. But yes, so the way I see the things, you know, I don't want the man to communicate with the ex-wife, ex-girlfriend. He is married with me, but I don't know. He loves the child so much that I become so
worried about.
He doesn't take care of me the way he's supposed to do. Like, what is missing? I'm getting jealous. I'm getting nervous.
I understand. Okay. All right. Please go on.
What is happening?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Jamila, take heart. The emotions are building up in there. Let's start off with Sandra's issue first. Jamila, we'll come to your issue shortly with Sandra's issue. Now,
the issue with the Abosokai person.
That was so kind, yes.
You see, you need to communicate. You need to talk. You need to find a way out. And I'll put my contact out there. Probably I need to set both of them down.
Yes.
And then find. You see, like I'm saying, people don't plan. So if there's no plan, you go nowhere.
The job is demanding. As Abosokai,
yes,
it's
demanding.
demanding.
But you see, you can still find space
to make it happen.
You can allocate some of your duties to someone else so they can have time for your family. Because if you get all the money and then your home is broken, you didn't achieve anything. And then the second one, the lady who's so emotional about this. Yes, you knew the man had a child before you went into the marriage. These should have been discussed as to where the child will be going, how will be taking care of the child.
But you know, things come up all the time as surprises.
You should. The man had a child before they got married. You should have discussed it. How are we going to handle this child? If you know you don't want any other woman around your man, you don't just get into it without having that clarity.
From the way she sounds, she's not ready to let go of this man. And she's in love.
I'll put my number out there.
I think we should do that. I think you should put a number out there so that.
Yeah, my number is 0244 661011. 0244 661011. So I mean, with some of these things, with my training, I don't prescribe solutions for people. I just facilitate for people to get solutions to their problems. Because if I give you my solutions, it will be based on what I think. But when the two of you come up with a solution and both of you start working on it, it is coming from you. And then if it is not going to work, I just fine tune it.
I think you should put the number out again.
0244 661011. 0244 661011.
Mr. Smooth, thank you very much. Our time is up. We're back here same time tomorrow on Prime Morning. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.